What's going on, everyone? Hunter and Sherb from Team Misfit HQ today, talking to you guys about the Pike Handstand Push Up. Now, this is a really good exercise, really for both your RX and kind of scaled athletes. This is obviously a terrific scaling option for athletes. We've got strict handstand push-ups program, but athletes don't have the upper body strength to do those unassisted. We can turn this into a Pike handstand push-up, but there's some nuance to it that we want to make sure that we're establishing. We're going to start on the wall, and then I'm going to show you a couple options with the box, but they're all going to be essentially the same kind of the idea here. So with the wall version, this requires a little bit of flexibility in the athlete's kind of posterior chain hamstrings, because as coaches, one of the big points of performance we want to look for is that the hips are as close to over the shoulders as they would be if we were upside down, right? If you're upside down, those hips are right over the shoulders. We want to try to replicate that here. So Sherb's going to get his feet all the way against the wall. Yep, and go ahead and get down into kind of a push-up position-ish, just down on the ground, and see if can you back your toes up against the wall so your whole foot's flat, just like that. Terrific. And now I'm going to have him walk himself basically as far as he can go. His mobility will probably be more limited here, and as you can see, those hips are fairly close to over the shoulders. If I can, I might ask him to try to get his hands back even a little bit farther, because from here, again, we're looking to keep that tripod position. So I'm going to say, hey, Sherb, look at my hand right quick. This is where I want you to land. Now tuck that head down a little bit. Keep that rib cage pulled in, and go ahead and aim for that spot. So you can see he's creating that tripod. Go ahead and press up. Give me two more. He's still creating that tripod position with his head in his hands, and he's making sure that midline, good, you can relax, that midline is tucked in and relaxed, okay? So in a position that we would like to see the athlete in when they're upside down. Now again, I would say this is, as far as difficulty goes, more of flexibility for the athlete. They're not lifting quite as much of their actual body weight, but if either flexibility is limited or the athlete just needs to be pressing a higher proportion of their body weight, we can go over to the box. So go ahead here. I'm going to show you the first is the knee version, and we have these 3 skull mats here to 1. Make sure that the athlete their head and their hands are on the same plane, because we don't want to reduce the range of motion. Obviously the head, the front pad here for safety, so they're not hitting their head hard on the ground. But also we can form that tripod position. So it's, hey, Matt, put your hands on those 2 mats out there, and your head is aiming here. And again, as a coach, I'm looking for those hips to be as over the shoulders as I can. Can you get out a little bit farther out over there? Yep, great. And again, we've got that skull mat. That's what we're targeting. He's gonna lower his head down and then press up, just like so. Again, midline is nice and tight. He's able to keep that head and hands between his shoulders as he presses through. Go ahead and relax for a second. And then finally, a little bit more difficult, because we're gonna have more of his body weight out over his shoulders. We can just have his feet on top of that box. But all these principles remain the same. Those hips are over the shoulders. He starts in that nice stacked position, and then as he lowers down to that skull mat, he creates that tripod that we would want to see when he's against the wall. Give me one more of those. Press, head comes through at the top, and then he can gently kick down. So we have 3 different ways to scale or kind of use the Pike Handstand Push-Up as a skill and strength development tool for your athletes. Remember, as the coach, we're looking for those hips to be stacked over the shoulders as much as possible, that rib cage to be pulled down, and for athletes to be forming that tripod with their head in their hands. If their head is going right between their hands, it's not going to translate to the wall, where so many athletes struggle and want to get better with movements like strict handstand push-ups, kipping handstand push-ups, and the like. If you like that video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one.